Hello and a warm welcome to the Southern View. I'm Sam Daniel from Chennai. Over the next half an hour, I'll be joined by my colleagues Ritu from Bengaluru and Ashwin from Thiruparankundram for all the news updates from the Southern India. Let's begin with news from Tamil Nadu. The Madurai Bench last night is hearing arguments for the second day over the Tamil Nadu government's appeal on the single judge order ordering the lighting of the Deepam on an ancient pillar on the hilltop in Thiruparankundram near a dargah. The arguments were largely today made by the council representing the temple and the Hindu Religious and Endowment Board Department in Tamil Nadu, which administers the government-run temples across the state. And the temple Devosam Council argued that the lighting over the last 100 years at another part of the hill in the middle level near the Uchippalliyar temple for over the last 100 years has been going on in compliance with the Agama rules over the last century, and that there are no such evidence that the temple lighting was done on the ancient pillar on the hilltop near the dargah. And they also point out that they have both documentary evidence and what they call as presence of an emblem on the pillar near the Uchippalliyar temple, where traditionally the lamp is lit, while the pillar, what's being called as Deepadun on the hilltop near the dargah, does not have the emblem of the Nayak era rulers. And they say there are several other hills around Madurai having such pillars of different sizes, and they are not meant for temple lighting. They point out many saints called summoners used to live on these hilltops, and perhaps these pillars were used to give them light at night on the hilltops. And the Dargah Council also argued that they were not given adequate time to present their case, and the video conference was also snapped by the judge, they say, by the single judge. And this is unacceptable, they say. And they also point out that the issue is not about the ownership of the temple, and the judge, they say, is trying to project as if it's all about the temple ownership and that the dargah is attempting to take over the property of the temple, which they say that's not the case. In another breaking story, the VCK chief, Thiruparankundram, an ally of the ruling DMK in Tamil Nadu, has taken on the BJP and RSS over the recent developments with regard to the Thiruparankundram ruling by the Madurai Bench of the Madras High Court by Justice G.R. Swaminathan, and a team of former judges also coming in support of him, calling the impeachment motion taken by the allies of the DMK under the India bloc, calling it politically motivated and intimidating judges. Thiruparankundram, in an interaction with journalists, says that this is yet another example how the RSS and BJP have teamed up together in a bid to what he calls trigger communal violence in Madurai. This is what he had to say.
பாஜக ஆர்எஸ்எஸ் உள்ளிட்ட சங் பரிவார அமைப்புகள் பல்வேறு சதி முயற்சிகளில் தொடர்ந்து ஈடுபட்டு வருகின்றன. திருப்பரங்குன்றம் அதிலே ஒரு சான்று. திருப்பரங்குன்றத்தில் இஸ்லாமியர்களும் இந்துக்களும் நீண்ட பல ஆண்டுகளாக ஒற்றுமையோடு சகோதரத்துவத்தோடு வாழ்ந்து வருகிறார்கள். ஆனால் சங் பரிவார அமைப்புகளை சார்ந்தவர்கள் வேண்டுமென்றே இல்லாத ஒரு பிரச்சனையை கூர்த்தீட்டி மதுரையில் மதத்தின் பெயரால் வன்முறைக்கு வித்திடுகிறார்கள். குறிப்பாக நீதிபதி G.R. சுவாமிநாதன் அவர்களின் இந்த நிலைப்பாடு அல்லது அவர் வழங்கியிருக்கிற தீர்ப்பு, அவருடைய அணுகுமுறை மிகுந்த கவலை அளிக்கிறது. இம்பீச்மெண்ட் என்கிற தீர்மானத்தை கொண்டு வர வேண்டும் என்று மக்களவைத் தலைவரிடத்தில் வழங்கியிருக்கிறோம்.
Well, the BJP and RSS argue that it's the rule of law that has happened in the Madurai Bench of the Madras High Court, and neither the judge in his personal capacity nor the BJP and RSS have anything to do with that. In a massive show of strength on Sunday in Thiruparankundram district of Tamil Nadu, the ruling DMK had brought together more than 1 lakh functionaries of the youth wing in a bid to send a strong message that it's just not the TVK that has a large youth following, but the ruling DMK too. They plan to host at least 3 such massive meetings over the next few months in Tamil Nadu to showcase their youth power. In fact, both the Deputy Chief Minister Udayinidhi Stalin, who heads the youth wing, and Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, who heads the DMK, had some strong words both for the RSS, the Prime Minister, and Amit Shah. Taking on the BJP, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin says, even if they bring in an army of Sanghis, as he calls it, nothing will work in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a state that's run by the spirit of Periyar, the spirit of rationalism, and there is a firewall by Periyar and Anna, and nothing will work. Taking on the BJP and the key opposition AIADMK, Udayinidhi Stalin compared the present state of AIADMK to an engine-less car which is being pulled by a tow vehicle, a tow truck by the BJP. And that the BJP, after trying several threats, he says, has now made AIADMK its slave, and with other government agencies to its aid, like the ED and the income tax, the BJP, Udayinidhi says, is hoping to expand its footprint in Tamil Nadu, which he says will not happen. This is what Udayinidhi and M.K. Stalin had to say.
திமுகவுக்கு ஓட்டு போடக்கூடிய நல்ல வரணும். அப்படி ஒரு இம்பேக்டை நீங்க உருவாக்கணும். தேர்தல் நெருங்கி வந்துடுச்சு. மக்கள்கிட்ட நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, 10 ஆண்டு கால தமிழ்நாட்டை படுபாதாளத்தில் தள்ளின அதிமுகவினர் தாங்கள் ஏதோ உத்தமர்கள் போல வேஷம் போட்டுக்கிட்டு வந்து வாக்கு கேட்பாங்க. அதேபோல் தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு துரோகம் செய்வது மட்டுமே வழக்கமாக வச்சிருக்கக்கூடிய பாஜகவினர் வழக்கம் போல தங்களுடைய பொய் பரப்புரைகளை பரப்புவார்கள். பதற்றத்தை உண்டாக்குற அரசியலை வச்சு எலெக்ஷன்ல சந்திக்கலாம்னு வருவாங்க. இவங்க கிட்ட கைகட்டி வாய் புத்தி அடிமை சேவகம் செஞ்சு கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய தமிழ்நாட்டோட உரிமைகளை, தமிழுடைய சுயமரியாதை அட வைக்கலாம்னு நேரடியாகவும் மறைமுகமாகவும் வேலை செய்ய பல கூட்டங்கள் இருக்கு. 2026 தேர்தலில் மக்கள் முன்னாடி இருக்கக்கூடிய கேள்வி என்னன்னா, இன்னும் 50 ஆண்டுகள் முன்னோக்கி நடைபோட போறோமா, இல்ல ஆண்டுகள் பின்னோக்கி இழுக்க முயற்சி பண்றவங்களுக்கு அடிபணிய போறோமா? ஆக அந்த கேள்விக்கு மக்கள் விடையளிக்க போற விடைதான் திராவிட மாடல் ஆட்சி 2.0. எதுக்காக இதை சொல்றேன்னா, இப்போ நம்ம தோல்ல தமிழ்நாட்டையும் தமிழ் மொழியும் காக்க வேண்டிய கடமை மட்டுமல்ல, ஒட்டுமொத்த இந்தியாவையும் நாட்டோட பன்முகத்தன்மையையும் காக்க வேண்டிய கடமை நமக்கு இருக்கு. இந்தியாவிலேயே பிஜேபிக்கு எதிராக ஐடியாலஜிக்கல் ஃபைட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரே மாநில கட்சி நம்முடைய திமுக தான். அதனால தான் அமித்ஷா போன்றவருக்கு நம்ம மேல எரிச்சல். பேசினாங்கல்ல, அண்மையில் கூட என்ன பேசினார் அவரு, பீகாரை ஜெயிச்சிட்டோம், அடுத்து டார்கெட் தமிழ்நாடு தான் சொல்றார். மாண்புமிகு அமித்ஷா அவர்களே, நீங்கள் உங்க சங்கி படையே கூட்டிக்கிட்டு வந்தாலும் உங்களால் ஒன்றும் இங்க பண்ண முடியாது. இது தமிழ்நாடு, இது தமிழ்நாடு.
மோடிக்கும் தெரியும், அமித்ஷாவுக்கும் தெரியும். அதனாலதான் நேரா வந்தா ஜெயிக்க முடியாதுன்னு இன்னைக்கு பழைய அடிமைகளையும் புதுசா புது அடிமைகளையும் கூட்டிக்கிட்டு துணைக்கு அழைச்சிக்கிட்டு நம்மளோட மோத பார்க்கறாங்க. பழைய அடிமைகள் புதிய அடிமைகள் மட்டுமல்ல, இன்னைக்கு சிபிஐ, இடி, இன்கம் டாக்ஸ், ஏன் எலெக்ஷன் கமிஷன், இப்படி எல்லாரும் கூடயும் கூட்டணி வச்சு பாசிச பாஜக கூட்டு சேர்ந்து தமிழ்நாட்டுக்குள்ள நுழைய பார்க்கறாங்க. இனிமே என்ன செய்ய போறோங்கிறதோ மிக மிக முக்கியம். அப்படி நமக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கக்கூடிய முதல் பணி, அடுத்த முக்கியமான பணி தான் 2026 சட்டமன்ற தேர்தல் பணி. அடுத்து வர்ற 4 மாதங்களுக்கு நாம் அதை நோக்கி பயணம் செய்யணும். களத்தில் கடுமையாக உழைக்கணும். அடுத்த தலைமுறை இளைஞர்களை சந்தித்து பேச வேண்டும். உங்களுடைய நண்பர்களை சந்தித்து பேசணும். அவங்களுக்கு அரசியல் பற்றின புரிதல் வரணும். யார் வேணாலும் இடையில வரட்டும் போகட்டும், அதை பற்றி நமக்கு கவலை வேண்டாம். வானவில் பார்க்கறதுக்கு ரொம்ப அழகாக இருக்கும், கலர் கலராக இருக்கும். அதை பார்க்கறதுக்கு மக்கள் கூடுவாங்க. ஆனால் அது நிச்சயம் நிரந்தரம் கிடையாது. உதயசூரியன் மட்டும்தான் நிரந்தரம். உதயசூரியன் தான் மக்களுக்கான வெளிச்சத்தை தரும்.
The ruling DMK aiming for a second consecutive term, the AIADMK trying to regain power, and TVK active Vijay aiming to break new grounds, but all banking on youth power. That's all from Tamil Nadu. Now it's over to my colleague Ashwin in Thiruparankundram for a breaking news. Ashwin?
Thank you, Sam. In fact, a very discouraging and crass remark has come from the CPIM member, who was earlier the local secretary, but now has been elected to power in the recently concluded local body elections. Syed Majid Tennala from the Tennala Gram Panchayat, during its victory speech, made crass remarks against women. He went on to say that women are supposed to be at home, and those women from dignified home will not stand themselves and display themselves in front of other men seeking votes, and that this is not allowed. And this is the kind of disparaging remark and extremely crass remark an elected representative from the CPM has made, and definitely it has not gone well, because the attack was against the women's wing of the Muslim League. The person, the elected member, has went on to say that women who come and stand in front of other men, they are not in a dignified position, and that women are supposed to be married to their men, and only their husband should be seeing them, and that they are supposed to be to raising their kids. This is a remark that has been made, and it has not gone well. In fact, the Muslim League Women's Wing has also planning to lodge a complaint. But at the same video, this man is also stating that even if the case is filed against him with this matter, he will know how to handle it as well. Let's hear this first video that has come out, this extremely crass and disparaging remark that has been made by an elected CPIM ward member.
രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ജമീലെത്താത്താനും മാത്രമല്ല പാലക്കാത്ത തങ്ങന്മാരെ വരെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. പറയും അതിനൊക്കെ കേൾക്കാൻ ആണത്വം പുളുപ്പുള്ളവൻ മാത്രം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രം ഈ പരിപാടിക്ക് ഇറങ്ങിയാൽ മതി. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വീട്ടുമ്മയായിട്ട് വീട്ടിലിരിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കണം. അതാണ് വേണ്ടത്. കല്യാണം കഴിക്കുമ്പോ തറവാട് നോക്കുന്നത് എന്തിനാണെന്നറിയോ? ഇത്രയും കാര്യങ്ങൾക്കൊക്കെയാണ് തറവാട് നോക്കുന്നത്. അന്യ ആണുങ്ങളെ മുമ്പിൽ പോയി നിസ്സാര ഒരു വോട്ടിന് വേണ്ടി സയ്യിദ് മജീദിനെ തോൽപ്പിക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു വാർഡ് പിടിച്ചെടുക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി അന്യ കുടുംബത്തിൽ നിന്ന് കെട്ടിക്കൊടുത്ത പെണ്ണുങ്ങളെ കൊണ്ടുപോയിട്ട് മറ്റുള്ളവരുടെ മുമ്പിൽ കാഴ്ചവെക്കാനല്ല എന്നുള്ളത് ഞാൻ ഈ അവസരത്തിൽ ഉറപ്പെടുത്തുകയാണ്.
Have been receiving or any of the calls. In fact, the NDTV tried to speak to him to understand why he said so. His phone remains switched off after these comments were made. In fact, the Muslim League Women's Wing is now all in its process to lodge a complaint, a police complaint against him, and a complaint is likely to be registered today. This comes at a time when the CPM has had a massive drubbing in the recently concluded local body elections, where it has lost significantly. In fact, the same CPM which had won in most majority of the Gram Panchayat and Block Panchayat had lost miserably, which paved way for the Congress and the Congress-led UDF to win. And at this time, a leader who was barely elected making this disparaging remark is certainly it's not seen well. And also the Congress has also stated that they will also look into this matter as well. Meanwhile, the election process after this comment was made, there has been no local support that has been rendered to the elected ward member, and the member is kept himself distance away from the media after these remarks were made as well. It also needs to be seen whether we were trying for reactions from the other local and the local women's wing of the Muslim League. The councillor has stated that they would want to file a case against this man, and they will be doing so in the coming times after the election work is to be concluded as well. Meanwhile, let's move on to the next breaking story, which is of Sabarimala. In fact, senior Congress leader and veteran Congress leader Ramesh Chennithila has deposed before the special investigating team which is looking into the Sabarimala gold heist. He has come forward with a very shocking claim that the Sabarimala gold heist there is an involvement of an international smuggling racket. In fact, Ramesh Chennithila has told that there is a nexus, an international nexus, which has been a cartel, which has been part of this, and the gold which has been missing from the Sabarimala sanctorum is now being sold in the international market, and there are some international smugglers who are into it. In fact, Ramesh Chennithila has used a very confidential statement under Section 161 and deposed before the crime branch, the special investigative team, stating that this needs to be looked into. Ramesh Chennithila was earlier the Home Minister of the state, says he has got credible information that there is an international racket which is working to smuggle the gold of Sabarimala. Let's hear what Ramesh Chennithila spoke to NDTV.
Today you have come deposed before the SIT. What is the allegation? What is the suspicion that you have on?
See that the gold which was been in Sabarimala has been smuggled out by certain unscrupulous antique smugglers. The court itself has asked about it. When I got some information about that, I thought that it is my bounden duty to inform the SIT. So that let the SIT will have an inquiry, detailed inquiry on this. It will definitely give a... even now, there is nobody has find out where is the gold. Even the SIT or the vigilance, they never found out where is the gold. That is the main issue. So, the information which I got, I am giving it to the SIT. Let them inquire about it.
Well, when NDTV probed Ramesh Chennithila further, he said a big shot businessman from Kerala has given him some of these evidences. And this businessman himself does not want to come into the limelight as he's scared of the people or the network behind it. And this businessman has passed on some of this credible information to Ramesh Chennithila, which he, as an elected representative of the people and as a former home minister, he said that his duty to give it to the SIT, which is probing this matter. This comes at a time when the SIT has already taken into custody 6 people so far, of which 2 of them are prominent CPIM leaders. And the investigation is ongoing on a larger conspiracy, whether there has been an international racket which has been there. In fact, an observation was also made by the Kerala High Court in this regard, stating that whether there is an operation that has been done in Sabarimala, whether there is an international nexus to the same. Certainly, this all is becoming bigger as in a few months' time, the elections are coming in Kerala, and already the Sabarimala issue has reached quite a benefit for the opposition, especially the Congress party. That's all we have from the state of Kerala. Let's hear from the more breaking stories from the state of Karnataka. Ritu, over to you.
Well, yes, it's the serious concern basically have been raised over the government midday meal food that's been really served to the government schools. Now, this is an unfortunate incident that's coming from the Koppal village, Bitteralli village, in fact. where that in a government school, rice was basically served to the students and the staff, which was infected by the worms that one really can see on our visuals, how that the students can really be seen talking about the worms that have been found in the food that they were basically intaking. Now, this is not the first incident that we are seeing from Koppal. In fact, just a couple of weeks back, there was also another incident that has come to the fore, similar incident in fact. Now, this has really raised an alarm over Now, what we are given to understand from the official side is that these are the rices that are getting supplied from the various godowns and which basically might be of infected rices. That further has led to this kind of an incident, but now needs to be seen. How is that the officials are going to take up this whole matter to resolve to it, because what we are also hearing that the officials are going to discuss this with the senior officials to ensure that this really does not continue. What is really going to happen in that matter, that all needs to be seen. But yes, visuals on our screen showing you what really basically can look like of these rice infected worms that can be seen on our screens. There you see the staff members talking about this whole matter of the unfortunate incident of how that the students and the staff remains to be helpless to consume this kind of food. Now, yes, multiple questions being raised on the state education department. How is that the education department going to take up this matter? That remains to be seen. Now, yes, this is again not just in the Koppal district, but you see it's also concerning because over lakhs of students, basically consume the food that gets supplied from the government's midday meal scheme. What's going to be the reaction of the education minister or the education department, for that matter, from the commissioner side as well, the education commissioner too? How are they that going to take up this whole matter? That needs to be seen. But this is, yes, an unfortunate incident coming to the fore. A lot of questions being raised at this point in time against the government as well as the authorities even at the school as well for not swinging into an action in advance to understand the necessity of it. The time is what has really been in question herein. All that needs to be seen. But yes, these are the visuals on our screen of what really is happening in the state of Karnataka.
Well, that's a wrap on this edition of the Southern View. Hope you liked it. We'll now slip into a short break, and after that, a lot more.